In a dense tropical jungle, U.S. soldiers cautiously advance through the muddy terrain, their camouflage uniforms blending into the surroundings. The air is misty, creating a tense atmosphere as helicopters hover above, adding to the dramatic composition of the scene. The soldiers are depicted in a realistic 1970s war style, showcasing their determination and caution as they navigate the challenging environment. The scene captures the essence of a battlefield, emphasizing the soldiers' focus and the dangers that lurk in the jungle. The theme presents a split map illustrating North Vietnam on one side and South Vietnam on the other. US and Soviet flags loom prominently over each respective side, symbolizing the geopolitical tension of the Cold War. The atmosphere is charged with political significance, enhanced by dramatic red and blue lighting that cast stark contrasts across the map. The overall style resembles a high-detail propaganda poster, emphasizing the ideological divide between East and West. The theme depicts a devastated Vietnamese village in the 1970s, characterized by burned huts with charred wooden beams and crumbling walls. Smoke rises from the remnants of the structures, creating a somber atmosphere. Displaced families are seen walking through the village, carrying their belongings in tattered cloth. Among them are children and elderly individuals, their faces reflecting sadness and exhaustion. The overall tone of the scene is captured in an emotional war photography style, emphasizing the human cost of conflict. A U.S. helicopter is perched on a rooftop, surrounded by crowds of desperate people trying to escape the chaos of Saigon in 1975. The scene is filled with emotionally intense moments as individuals reach out towards the helicopter, showcasing their desperation. The city streets below are filled with turmoil, adding to the dramatic atmosphere. The sky is painted with hues of orange and purple from the sunset, enhancing the historical realism of the moment. This scene is captured in a cinematic wide shot, emphasizing the scale of the crowd and the urgency of the situation. The scene unfolds on a chaotic battlefield during the 30 Years' War, featuring 17th century European soldiers clad in armor and wielding muskets. The atmosphere is filled with the sounds of battle, with smoke and fire visible in the distance. Crumbling stone structures of a village can be seen, adding to the grim medieval ambiance. The lighting is dramatic, emphasizing the turmoil of the scene. The scene depicts a split church, visually divided into two distinct sections, representing Catholics on one side and Protestant from the other. The interior features shattered stained glass windows, allowing fragmented light to spill onto the floor, creating a moody atmosphere. Scattered religious books are burning in the center, their pages curling in the heat, while medieval flags clash against each other, symbolizing the fierce conflict. The overall composition is surreal, capturing the historic representation of the 30 Years' War in a dramatic and evocative manner. The scene depicts an abandoned and destroyed German village during the 30 Years' War. Skeletal remains of buildings loom over muddy roads, their crumbling walls and shattered roofs hinting at a once thriving community. Starving peasants, gaunt and weary, shuffle through the mud, their faces etched with despair. Sick and weak children cling to their parents, their frail bodies shivering in the cold, misty air. The atmosphere is heavy with hopelessness, evoking a somber tone that resonates throughout the village. A group of 17th century European diplomats is gathered around a large candlelit wooden table. They are engaged in discussions, with maps of Europe being redrawn in front of them. Scrolls and ink pots are scattered across the table, adding to the atmosphere of old-world politics. The diplomats are dressed in elegant robes and powdered wigs, creating a tense but hopeful mood as they navigate the complexities of diplomacy. A chaotic battlefield during the 100 Years' War, where armored knights clash fiercely amidst the turmoil. English and French banners wave prominently in the background, adding to the sense of conflict. The ground is muddy, littered with fallen horses and debris, while archers can be seen in the distance, poised to shoot. Smoke rises from the chaos, creating a gritty and cinematic atmosphere that encapsulates the intensity of war. A group of medieval longbowmen, including at Longbowman Aidan, at Longbowman Thomas, and at Longbowman Richard, are positioned on a hilly battlefield. They are dressed in green and brown tunics, demonstrating their focused expressions as they prepare to fire arrows in unison. The stormy sky looms overhead, adding tension to the scene. The arrows soar through the air, creating a dynamic composition that captures the intensity of the moment. The scene is set in the early 1400s, reflecting the historical context of the archer's attire and environment. At Joan of Arc in shining armor rides a majestic white horse, holding a battle flag adorned with a golden fleur-de-lis. She leads a group of French soldiers into battle, her expression heroic and determined. The medieval battlefield stretches behind her, filled with the chaos of war. Divine sunlight breaks through the storm clouds above, illuminating the scene and highlighting the bravery of the soldiers following her. The atmosphere is charged with inspiration and valor. The theme depicts a Joan of Arc, a brave young woman, tied to a wooden stake, her expression one of dignity despite the dire circumstances. Surrounding her are guards, including at Guard Thomas, who appears conflicted about his duty, and a crowd of solemn onlookers witnessing the event. Flames begin to rise around a Joan of Arc, adding to the tension of the moment, while the cathedral looms in the background, enhancing the historical realism of the setting. The expressions on the faces of the crowd members reflect a mix of fear, curiosity, and respect for Joan of Arc's bravery. The scene captures the gravity of the moment as history unfolds. The theme depicts a medieval walled city where the triumphant French army has reclaimed the area. A French flag is raised high on a tower, symbolizing victory. People are cheering in the streets, celebrating the reclaiming of their city. The ground is littered with remnants of battle, showcasing the struggle that has just taken place. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of triumph and relief. The architecture reflects 15th century European styles with stone walls and towers, creating a historical backdrop for the celebration. A tense standoff between the Byzantine soldier and Ottoman warrior armies unfolds across a hilly battlefield. The Byzantine soldiers clad in ornate armor with golden details stand resolute, their intricate gold-embellished breastplates glinting under the cloudy sky. Opposite them, the Ottoman warriors, dressed in traditional attire with turbans and chainmail, exude a fierce determination. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, symbolizing the beginning of a centuries-long war. The scene captures the dramatic essence of this historic moment. The scene depicts the city of Constantinople in the 1400s, showcasing its massive stone walls adorned with towers and battlements. The city is surrounded by water and lush hills, with golden domes and spires shining in the distance. The atmosphere is majestic and fortified, capturing a peaceful moment before the impending siege. The hyper-realistic detail emphasizes the grandeur and historical significance of the city. The scene depicts the epic final siege of Constantinople in 1453. Ottoman cannons are blasting into the ancient walls, sending debris flying into the air. Soldiers are charging forward amid smoke and fire, their faces filled with determination and fear. Flaming arrows rain down from above, creating a chaotic atmosphere. The sound of war drums echoes in the background, heightening the tension and chaos of the battlefield. As the scene unfolds, the golden light of dawn begins to break through the thick smoke, casting an ethereal glow over the destruction and conflict. Victorious Mehmed II, also known as Mehmed the Conqueror, enters Constantinople on horseback through broken gates. Ottoman soldiers cheer behind him, creating a sense of triumph. The scene is filled with torn Byzantine banners fluttering in the breeze, contributing to the historical realism of the moment. The atmosphere is awe-inspiring, enhanced by the golden hour lighting that bathes the scene in a warm glow. The scene depicts the landing of Muslim Moors from North Africa in 711 AD. Cavalry in ornate armor and turbans disembark from ships, their figures silhouetted against the stormy skies. The coastline is rugged, with waves crashing against the shore, highlighting the dramatic entrance of the Moors. Desert colors dominate the scene, with crescent banners fluttering in the wind, symbolizing the beginning of the Reconquista. The atmosphere is epic and cinematic, capturing the historical significance of the moment. In a rugged mountain fortress of northern Spain, medieval Christian soldiers, led by Captain Rodrigo Alvarez, prepare to resist the advancing Moorish forces. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of hope and defiance as they don their armor and gather weapons. Captain Rodrigo Alvarez stands confidently, his shiny steel breastplate gleaming in the sunlight, while Sergio Martinez sharpens his sword nearby. Father Miguel offers prayers and guidance to the soldiers, instilling courage in their hearts. The scene captures the determination and camaraderie among the soldiers as they ready themselves for battle. A peaceful moment in a busy medieval market where Christian and Moorish scholars and merchants are exchanging ideas and goods. The atmosphere is filled with vibrant colors, showcasing the cultural fusion of the time. Islamic architecture stands alongside Gothic buildings, creating a unique visual contrast. The market is bustling with activity, with stalls displaying various goods and people engaging in animated discussions. A cinematic depiction of the Siege of Granada in 1492, showcasing Christian armies encircling the hilltop Alhambra Palace. The scene features Moorish defenders standing resolutely on the walls, their royal banners fluttering in the wind against a backdrop of a dramatic sunset sky. The atmosphere is charged with tension as it captures the last stand of the Moors, rendered in a highly detailed war painting style that emphasizes the historical significance of the moment. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella stand proudly in regal attire, receiving the keys to the city of Granada from the surrendering Moorish nobles. The majestic Alhambra looms in the background, symbolizing the culmination of the Reconquista. The scene is bathed in golden light, highlighting the moment of triumph and the historical significance of the event. The nobles, dressed in traditional Moorish garments, bow in submission, creating a powerful visual of surrender and victory. The atmosphere is charged with emotion, capturing the essence of a historic painting style. Christopher Columbus stands at the edge of the port, preparing to board his ship adorned with the Spanish flag. The ship features white sails with red crosses, billowing gently in the morning breeze. Queen Isabella watches from the dock, her regal presence highlighted by her deep red velvet gown with gold embroidery. The sun rises over the sea, casting a golden hue across the water, symbolizing the dawn of a new era. As Columbus embarks on his adventurous journey, the atmosphere is filled with anticipation and determination as the crew readies the ship for departure. A dramatic horizontal timeline visually representing the 5 longest wars in history: the Vietnam War, the 30 Years' War, the 100 Years' War, the Byzantine Ottoman Wars, and the Reconquista. Each war is illustrated with stylized icons: jungle combat for the Vietnam War, medieval knights for the 30 Years' War, Joan of Arc for the 100 Years' War, the Siege of Constantinople for the Byzantine Ottoman Wars, and Moors vs. Christians for the Reconquista. The background features ancient parchment with bold typography that emphasizes the historical significance of each conflict. An epic collage of changing empires across history unfolds, showcasing a series of vivid and painterly visuals. The scene begins with images of burning villages, smoke rising against a backdrop of medieval castles. Ancient maps unfurl across the screen, revealing the shifting boundaries of empires. Fallen flags flutter in the wind, symbolizing lost power and glory. Rising armies march forth, their banners held high, evoking a sense of impending conflict. Historical figures such as Joan of Arc, Mehmed II, Ferdinand and Isabella, and Christopher Columbus setting sail are depicted in a blend of styles, creating a dynamic and emotional tapestry of history. The scene features a clean YouTube end-screen background designed with an aged paper texture. The background is adorned with sword and scroll design elements, creating a medieval modern fusion style. In the center, there is text that reads, "Which war surprised you the most? Comment below." The edges of the background have a soft vignette effect, enhancing the overall aesthetic. An animated style graphic sequence begins with a vintage bell ringing, creating a nostalgic atmosphere. Following this, a thumbs-up icon rises triumphantly from a battlefield, symbolizing victory and approval. Lastly, a subscribe button floats gracefully over a glowing map of the world, merging historical elements with modern YouTube UI aesthetics. The overall look is playful yet premium, combining historical imagery with contemporary digital design.